complete love. If a single family home near the beach were going for $250,000, I would have bought them all as investment properties and there would be none left. I talk to buyers every single week who have a budget of $250,000, who want to be a golf cart ride to the beach. And I have to be honest with you, I say this with complete love. If a single family home near the beach were going for $250,000, I would have bought them all as investment properties and there would be none left. So let's really talk about what your money actually does buy you here in the Grand Strand. The picture is really, really good. It's just not what HGTV has told you what it is. I'm Lori Lee Mendieta with Century 21, the Harrelson Group, here in the Grand Strand. And today, on The Logic of the Lifestyle, we're going to talk about what price points actually do get you here right now in today's market, and we're in the summer of 2026. So there's no sugarcoating, no hype, just the honest breakdown. The 250 buyer, this is the conversation I have most often. The buyer calls in, they've done some research, seen some listings, and they have a 250 budget, and they want a single family home relatively close to the beach, maybe a golf cart ride away. I listen, I ask a few questions, and then I ask one that reframes everything. How do you feel about leased land? Or maybe even a condo with a higher HOA, or a townhouse that is potentially about 20 minutes away from the beach, because those options do exist in the $250,000 price point. Some of them are awesome, but a single family home close to the water in a stable community with good bones, it's a little bit harder to find. Okay, when we're looking at that, we are actually looking at different areas. Maybe in Loris, we're talking about Aner, we're talking on the edge of Longs. Going into Loris. And here's what the honest $250,000 menu buys you. It buys you condos in that, right? But with the condo, you're also going to have HOAs that are $400, $500, $600, sometimes even $1,200. And that fee on a monthly schedule really changes what your dynamics and your financial monthly outlook looks like. Right? A condo at that price point with the higher HOAs can also lead to special assessments. So those are also going to be part of something that you need to account for. Mobile homes on lease hand. That is the space that I know very well. I do help a lot of buyers go into that space. You will be able to get a little bit closer to the water, but you have to be okay with something on lease land, paying that additional monthly fee. And so let's talk about what that means. You know, when you're buying on lease land, affect resale value, not even just resale value, but the flexibility in resales. That's going to affect, that fee can go up month to month. So that is a piece I feel like that we should also deep dive into. And so you have a better idea of what that looks like. Now, at the $250,000 buyer, we're looking at Loris and Aner and Longs, right? And when I start to have those conversations with these buyers, they are very, very hesitant at first. I get it, because it's not necessarily what the idea of what they had envisioned moving to the beach is. They think that Loris is super far away. When you do that on the map, it's about 45 minutes. But when you go from Loris to Cherry Grove in North Myrtle Beach, that's a 20-minute drive, right? So they wanted 20 minutes close to the water. They're just from north end straight into the water, as opposed to going north end, coming down south and heading over the water 20 minutes away, and you get what you want. That is not a consolation prize. That is just a great, really smart play. And when you start to uncover what this looks like, I always tell my buyers, take the time, go drive it. And when they do, they always come back over the weekend after driving that Route 9, and they want to go see homes. So having a local person on your side here is really important, because really understanding what is really important to you, and that they could figure out areas and locations that really make sense for you. All right, so let's move on. So let's talk about what you get at 350, 500 here in the Grand Strand. And when you get into those price points, those become a broader picture of what you can get. 350, you are looking at some established homes a little bit closer to the water. The condos are going to have better reserves. They're going to have a little bit healthier HOAs in that space. And townhouses are going to be very close, not very close, but pretty close to the beach, right? Those are excellent. Now, when we get into the $500,000 range, we are looking at resort style amenities. You're really going to be able to find the value, what you were really looking for moving here. Resort style amenities, pools, fitness centers, all of those things, those mass urban plan developments. That's what you moved here for. So, I always have buyers from New York, New Jersey, Northern Virginia, and when they see what $400,000 to $500,000 delivers here versus what they get at home, the math actually starts to make a lot of sense, and the move stops feeling like a lifestyle decision. It starts feeling like a financial one. The number behind the number. Here's the piece most buyers miss. And I want you to ensure that you're not missing that either. Whether your purchase price is not your true cost of ownership, your real monthly picture includes property taxes, homeowners insurance, and especially here in coastal South Carolina, insurance deserves its own conversation. HOA fees is applicable. That deserves its own conversation. Every one of those line items needs to be calculated before you fall in love with a price. So I write this with every buyer before we start seriously looking, because the goal is not necessarily to find the highest price that you could technically afford. That's not it. The goal is to find the right home at a number that actually lives and you actually can feel in your life, that's going to feel really, really great about living here in the Grand Strand. That's when the Grand Strand really, has a great market value. I've watched it deliver for all of my buyers, buyer after buyer, deal after deal. So great value doesn't always mean cheap. That's a thing, right? So I just really want you to understand what the whole broader picture of what living here looks like. So comment the word budget below, and I'll honestly give you a kind of breakdown of how much it costs to be down here. This is not a sales pitch. This is no pressure at all. Just an honest opinion of what this looks like for you and for your family, whether you guys are looking for an investment property or even just a single family home. Let's break down the numbers so you can truly make the best decision for yourself, and we can go from there. Again, this is Lori Lehman Diaz with The Logic Behind the Lifestyle. I'll see you next time.